Ooh, welcome back to the project. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all good. Today's subject is going to be scheduling a prep. So what things do we need to consider in order to have a good understanding of what time frame you need to leave yourself in order to reach your goal physique. So that's going to be today's subject. Make sure you stick around. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below. I'm really trying to grow the channel at the moment, and that would help massively, and I hope you enjoy as always. I should just think about what I want to speak about today because I haven't planned it at all. So pumped already. I've done 2 sets. Not sure when this video is going to come out, but basically this weekend we're running a trial peak. So I've got 600 grams of carbs to eat today, and then potentially the same tomorrow, potentially more, potentially less. But I've already eaten 5 or 6 times the amount of carbohydrates that I have been eating in a day, which is 50 grams, already prior to training. So I've had 2 meals and I've had 5 or 6 times the amount of carbs in those 2 meals as I have been having the whole day. So I feel amazing right now. Carbs pumping through my veins. Right, first point, planning a prep, looking at time frames. When should you start? A big part of that equation is your starting position in general. Where are you starting from a body composition standpoint? And also, where are you looking to get to? What's the actual goal? Those 2 things are going to depict how much work you have to do. Number 1, your starting position. If you're starting off with a higher body fat percentage, if you're starting off with inconsistency from the variables that are going to get you that progress in itself, in terms of training, in terms of nutrition, in terms of lifestyle factors, you're going to have more work to do. On the other side of that, if you want to just get a little bit leaner for summer, you're going on a holiday, versus doing a photo shoot, or to the next extreme, doing a competition, those 2 goals are very different as well. So taking into consideration those things, and then looking at how much time you think you have or think you need, and adding a lot more onto it. Because a lot of times, it takes longer than you think, you have more to lose than you think, and you'd rather have more time, be ready early, and then be able to actually back out of the diet a little bit and just cruise into that goal than be rushing towards the end. Now, with me personally, one thing I will do differently next time I diet is, A, I'll be starting from a completely different position, because before I was fairly detrained and I was out of routine, but B, I will give myself more time. And I think everyone that diets to the extreme for the first time will say that on that second time. Give yourself more than you think you need.
Okay, let it be known, I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home, this ain't a phone. Grind never stopping, I'm keeping it cold. Unlocking the door with the holy key. You supposed to be this close to me, and hopefully you understand G.O.D. Maybe this cold and I'm talking like
Jesus Christ, I'm so pumped.
This ain't a fluke, I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view, I had to put in my time on the TV, it coming in soon. I couldn't leave it all up to a variant or an experience. You gotta get up and do what it do. So complicated, homie, it's you. Always gonna wait until you in the mood. I've been running, came out gunning, stop the fronting on your word. It's what you hear, not what you heard.
You didn't see that.
I'ma show you what it's worth. Every day I'm on the earth till they put me in the dirt. I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first.
So point 2 in terms of scheduling a prep is actually your training experience. So your experience is going to have a large contribution towards your ability to actually progress, or at least your rate of progression there. If you're earlier on in your training career, then I would leave more time, because you're going to find it tougher, you're going to make more mistakes along the way, and as always, you would rather more time, as I said. If you're more experienced, you would have been through this process maybe a few times now, so you've been learning a lot about yourself, learning a lot about the process that you need to be going through, and thus that whole process is probably going to be a little bit more efficient. There's also other contributing factors there in terms of your level of muscle mass. For a training individual that has lower muscle mass versus higher muscle mass, there is going to be a difference there in terms of your ability to lose fat as well. In terms of someone heavier, someone with more muscle mass, likely is going to be able to eat more food. Their general maintenance calories is going to be higher. So how low they actually have to pull their food is likely less than someone like me, smaller individual, lighter body weight. I've had to pull my calories very, very low, which makes things difficult. So a couple of different things there for you to consider there as well. My brain's just gone blank. What was I about to do? I got it. I'm gonna go there.
Look, tell a man no trouble, I don't want beef, man, I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online. One rule,
Forgot my grip, so luckily we got a pair of reverse grips laying around.
Telephone hype, nah, no need for the snoozing. Big whip outside, I'm cruising. Big stick inside, no losing. Better watch out for the snake and Judas. Don't ask them who this is. I bet they know what I'm moving in. I bet I show it into a dim. How you hate and then lose again? How you hating my vibes? Why you wasting my time? Getting hype on my line. Tell a man I don't want feedback, I just want relax. Brand new whip, two-tone, I need that brand new hit. You know that.
Not many sessions left now. What have we got? Probably 4 or 5 sessions left after this. It's come around so quick, so quick. Seems like only a couple of weeks ago that we were starting this series and I was 13, 14 weeks away from the shoot. We're now just over 1 week away. Flies by. What am I doing? I somehow just clipped both cuffs to one thing. That's what happens when you're like 15 weeks into dieting. Your brain stops working. I don't actually know how I did that. You got to show me.
You need me your eye that I'm keeping it true. The man that I'm wild that I'm keeping it cool. No need for the telephone hype from you. Yeah, tell a man no trouble. I don't want beef, man. I just want vibes. Big man like me, no need for the telephone hype. I got too much getting online. One rule, then I'm on side.
Another thing you want to consider is how fast are you actually willing to progress? How fast do you want to progress? And there's a few things to consider there even within that. So first of all, that training experience thing comes into that. The more experience you have, the harder you're going to be able to actually push yourself. Coming from a higher body fat percentage, you'll be able to push for a little bit of a faster rate of loss whilst not being at so much risk of losing muscle as well. And also just what kind of person are you? Are you able to dig in? Are you able to go to those depths and eat not a lot of food and do a lot of cardio and do a lot of steps? Or are you the kind of person that would rather leave yourself a little bit more time, trickle along at a little bit of a slower rate? Technically for a lot of people, going at that slightly slower rate of loss rather than the extreme is going to be better in terms of that muscle retention factor as well. So there's a few things to think about there. Multifactorial as always, but just another thing to consider in terms of time frames.
Yeah. All right. Son of Augustine style, you get me? Yeah. New whip outside is different.
What kind of music do you guys like listen to when you're training?
Mind your business.
Comment below. Rap, drum and bass, bit of house, techno, bit of grime, bit of classical, piano, a bit of Ludovico Einaudi in there. Beautiful.
Can't you tell that I'm riding with it? 5 or 6, I can't find those digits. Line them up and say mind your business. Don't you know that I'm riding with it? I'm riding with it. You can't see the size, ain't norm. I ain't reached my final form. I got a teach inside a storm. I got a reach inside it. No, I don't need Poseidon. By and large, I don't preach no violence. Wifey, right?
Spoke about this in an Instagram post a few weeks ago and it popped off. Everyone was sharing it, everyone was commenting because it was so true. And I spoke about being flat whilst dieting. You're not dieting to look good or feel good whilst you're dieting. You're dieting to look good for the end product. And the harsh reality is, most of the time, throughout a dieting phase, especially if you're pushing it, especially if your food's lower, you're gonna feel flat. You're gonna feel like you got no muscle. Your pumps in the gym aren't gonna be great. But moments like this, where I've had more carbs inside me now, and I can actually feel that pump and feel that fullness come back, it's worth all the days pushing through the flatness. So if you're dieting at the moment, stop moaning about being flat, fucking push through it, and you'll be happy that you did by the end.
I can't find those digits. Line them up and say mind your business. Don't you know that I'm riding with it?
That's what of the last things for you guys to consider is, are you a natural athlete or are you assisted? Those two things are different in some respects. With a natural athlete, all you have at your disposal is your energy intake versus expenditure variables, as well as your HIM binders, your only real supplementation that's going to assist in terms of fat loss. As an assisted athlete, you have more assistance. So you've got exogenous hormones coming on board, you've got extra lipolytics in your toolbox, you've got thyroid support, you've got all these other things that don't necessarily make it easier, but just change the game and change all of those tools that you have available to you when potentially progress starts to slow down, or you need to push a little bit harder, or especially towards the back end of a prep for a natural athlete, because you haven't got those exogenous hormones coming on board, you're going to be fairly tanked from a natural hormone production perspective. I guarantee you right now, my testosterone is not very high, whereas an assisted athlete, they can continue to keep that where it is, or even taper up into a show from that standpoint. Not the one's easier, not the one's harder, different scenarios with different considerations and different time frames. I think the carbs have worked. We're 2 meals in to this 2-day trial peak. Got a lot more carbs to come, a lot more fullness to come, but just 2 meals, a little bit more fullness has brought my physique to life already, so let's wait and see how I look on Monday. So that's another episode wrapped up, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed, I hope that was informative. Again, any questions ever, fire them in the comments, or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always happy to chat to people and get back to them. As always, do that YouTuber stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.